Welcome back to rulevacantland.com. This is Luke Smith. I'm excited to be here again on another Monday morning doing these live feeds, learning about land. We learn together, right? I make a fool of myself. You guys ask questions. I go try to find the answers. So we've got a couple things on the topic. Let me change some of these. Let me hit some settings here, see if I can get stuff flowing smooth. Trying to spread the load between a couple different computers. And okay, so we've got seems to be going. If you guys can hear me and see me, maybe you could chime in on the comments. It'd be great. So I got a couple topics this morning. First up, there's a live event coming up with Land Academy guys. So Land Academy is one of the places I've learned a lot about dealing land, buying land, selling land, and doing a lot of different land deals. Those guys taught me a lot. And so I'm going to be speaking at their live event this weekend. I should have pulled it up here on the screen. I'll try to throw it up on the screen, but it's Land Academy. I'm just going to Google Land Academy live event. Land Investors Live. Here we go. So let's see. I'm not sure if there's tickets left anymore. It looks like they're still doing sign up. So Land Investors Live, Los Angeles, October 4th. That's this Friday. So that's like an invite only part of it. And then the more open session is the Saturday and Sunday, October 5th and 6th. And it's in Hermosa Beach, California. It's pretty short notice if you're just hearing about it, but I mean, you could still go if you're on the ball, right? So Hermosa Beach, it's at the Beach House in Hermosa Beach, California. I believe they've got rooms there. There's a bunch of different hotels around the area. It's not that far from the airport if you're flying in. And here's viewed nearby hotels and stuff. So here they've got their schedule laid out, what they're doing. I think they moved me around a little bit. I'm not sure where I'm at on the schedule anymore. But so that live event's coming up this weekend. I'm going to be going to that. It'll be fun to talk to. Hopefully see a bunch of you guys there at the live event, meet you, and just talk about land. So, okay, so that's one topic I want to talk about. The next thing I want to talk about was Arkansas. So we've been doing all these Arkansas deals, and I've been talking to a couple of different counties and zoning and regulation people. I found a couple more places in Arkansas we could get some land that doesn't have crazy zoning, or lots of it has no zoning. No zoning's the best. You could just, my favorite conversation was, I called around the county and nobody knew who does the zoning, planning and zoning part of the county. I finally got the county clerk on the line. She's like, oh yeah, just go build. And she asked, is it country land or is it in the city? I'm like, how about the country land? And she says, just go build. I'm like, oh, well, what's the difference if I buy land in the city? Well, you need to get a permit from the fire guy that you're meeting fire code. But other than that, you just go build. So if you're in the city, you need a fire code thing. And if you're in the country, it doesn't even matter about the fire inspections or fire safety. In another city, they cared about flood. Like you got to get a piece of paper from the judge that says, or get your acceptance by the judge that says you're not in the flood zone. So you just go to the courthouse and it sounds like the judge is always there. And you just walk in and pay like $12 and get your get your exception from flood for the property that you're working on. Really simple fees, really easy regulations to go build on a lot of these Arkansas properties. So I'm excited about that. I've been processing the paperwork, and we're going to get a bunch more of these Arkansas properties for the people that send in money for Arkansas properties. If you're still interested in sending money for Arkansas properties, please don't. I think we're going to clean them out with all the demand we got for more Arkansas properties. You're going to see them come up on the website. You can buy them there and go resell them, or buy them for cash, sell them on terms or something if you want. I'll try to do that in the future when I can find other deals like that. I'll offer them to you guys and see if we can take them out as a group. Okay, so the main thing I wanted to do today is talk about mailers. So I promised a bunch of people that I would send out mail for them, and they sent me money to do it, and I've been lagging. I've been sending out mail for part of what I promised, but not all of what I promised. So today I want to try to catch up on that. I don't think I'm going to be able to get it solved because the demand is a bit over my head for one mailer, but I think we can step into it and do a series of mailers and get the deals going. I think I've learned a lot on the mailers that I've sent out in Washington around the Puget Sound area. I started focusing in on the Puget Sound area for a couple different reasons. Washington is one of the hottest markets to move to in the country. State-wise, Seattle is one of the hottest cities to move to in the country. The real estate market in Seattle is hot. The days on market are short. The amounts of deals that are happening is a lot. So if we can get land there and serve it up, I think there's a lot of people that would like that land and they'd like to run with it and have it go make it their own. So I like a lot of those being in the right slipstreams of areas to do land deals. And I think that focuses into Seattle and the greater Seattle area. Seattle has a ripple effect around the whole area, so we can ripple that whole area. And so I think the main thing that I've learned on these Puget Sound properties is the amount of due diligence that I'm doing on these properties, I think is more than I've ever done on any other properties. A lot of it pertains to water, not so much getting water to drink, but getting rid of water. You know, a lot of it's swampland or hydric soil or different kinds of soil that, you know, if there's an earthquake, it turns to mud and your house sinks. You know, I don't want those properties, and I don't want the ones that are in the floodplains and flood this and flood that. It's too hard to pull off. So there's a big price differential in properties that are, you know, something wrong with them, like the flood, the earthquake potential, the access, but mainly getting rid of water so you could build there kinds of problems. And or steepness. The hills can't be very steep in Washington because of all the rain. It makes them more susceptible to mudslides than lots of other parts of the country where it doesn't rain as much. And so you get a big price differential between the properties that have these problems or perceived problems and the properties that don't. And so the properties that are ready to go, I think those are the ones that are short terms on market, and those are the ones that are happening. Those are the ones that are happening really fast. And if you make it really obvious that it's a good property and it's ready to go, I think you can just serve those things up all day long and they're just gone. So I'd like to get into those, and how to do that is the art. And so I've been thinking about it a lot, and I've been learning and I've been learning and I've been thinking and I've been learning. And I think we can get a lot more accurate going forward. So like some of this last due diligence, let me pull up a map while we're talking, and I'll hit some comments in a second, but I just want to get this off my chest. So here's a map of Washington. Let me see if I can do the weatherman view. Here we go. Okay, so I'm going to move over here a little bit. So this county here, this kind of orange point that goes up into the Puget Sound is Kitsap. And Kitsap has a lot of earthquake dangers, but it also has a lot of water. I mean, there's water everywhere. There's coastline all over the place. Just across the way is Seattle, and people are moving from Seattle to Kitsap, and the ferry lines are increasing. They're increasing public transportation more and more to get from a couple different towns over there to Seattle to go to work, and the tech industry is booming and going and going. You've got hot places like Bainbridge Island right there. I didn't get any land on Bainbridge Island, but I would like to. And I think that would be like really sweet place to have properties, feather in the cap kinds of things, hopefully big spreads, so the people that paid for mail can get like some serious money back on what they paid for. So I've been working a lot on Kitsap. King County is, we got some deals in King County. If you look on the website, there's some. I think there's some more in the hopper. You should probably see some videos coming up this week of some more King County properties. A lot of the problem that seems to come out of King County is there's a lot of illegal lots. And so it's a really big due diligence process to go make sure that the lot is legal. Legal being they started making neighborhood regulations in the early 70s, like I think it was 73, March of 73 in King County, where a lot of places are 72, but King County did it March of 73. They came up with these regulations. So if you can follow the legal description back before March of 73, it's probably a legal lot. And it's grandfathered in, so the size doesn't matter as much compared to current day zoning. If the lot doesn't meet current day zoning, which a lot of it doesn't, because 73 they started changing a lot of the zoning to like 5 acres where a lot of 1 acre properties are. So you can't make any more, right? But you can still use the ones that were made. And so getting through that process of what's legal and not is a mess. So you have to go back in time further than the electronic records allow you to go in that county. And so we've been sending people in to like the local records and pulling old records, trying to find old records, like getting college students and TaskRabbit people and just getting people to go find records. And it's a research project. It's logistics, trying to get the records. The county won't do the old ones like that. They won't help you. You got to be there in person. So I don't really want to do more King County, to be honest. I kind of want to skip that one. Skagit County up here, a lot of that, the Skagit River has major water protections going on. And so Skagit River runs through the whole stinking county. And late summer, the river dries up on average 95 days a year. And so they made up these laws in 2001 to protect the river. And then the laws got added on and retracted and stuff. But basically the way the laws are set right now, if you take a vacant property somewhere along that river basin or a tributary to that river and you want to drill a well into it, you can't, because the water's already been promised to somebody else. And so when you're tapping into those water tables, you're theoretically affecting the river flow. And so they can tell you to stop using that when when the river flow gets below a certain amount, which is late summer when it's dry out. And it doesn't matter. Like, they don't just tell you to turn off your sprinklers. You can't get drinking water out of it. And so that constitutes like a variable source of water for building. And then the state mandates that you have a solid source of water for building. And so the county says, well, we're stuck in between all these rules. We can't give you a building permit to go build on one of these properties without either hooking up to a public water system. So the thing's got to be on public water, or you got to have some water source that was established before the 2001 laws went through. So I don't want to deal with that anymore, like in Skagit. So if I'm going to go do Skagit stuff, I'm going to make sure it's got like public water going on. I don't want to deal with the vacant properties in Skagit because of that. Island County, you start getting into deals in Island County, mailed a bunch of Island County. They, a lot of these other counties, when you drill a water well, you got to have a radius around the well that no one else's septic tanks are into, including your septic system and other wells. And so it's usually like a 100-foot radius. And the other counties, your 100-foot radius can spill over into the neighbor's land. So you could have a small property, and as long as nobody else has septic system and wells right around your property, you can put a well in or a septic system in, and if there's enough room to do both of them and pull off a build. But in Island County, because of the saltwater intrusion, like as you pull fresh water, the salt water comes in from the sea, and they're really worried about that. So they've got a lot of spots that they won't let you drill at all, and other places they let you drill. It's like that 100-foot radius, make it a 200-foot span, has to be on your property. You can't fall into the neighbor's property. Like, you can't take part of their access to this away by spilling your radius out into their property. Which kind of makes more sense as a property owner. If I'm stuck in the middle and everyone around me does wells and septics and I can't do anything, that's awful. But it's hard to do as a developer. Then you need properties that are 200 foot wide at least, or they don't work. And so there's a bunch of these properties in Island County that people are willing to sell that aren't wide enough to put in a well, and there's no public utilities around to serve up water. So you're stuck in the same problem. You can't get a building permit. You can't build on the property. And so I don't want to run into those. So where I'm going with this is I want to target higher end properties that have the water utilities And if they got water utilities, they probably got the other utilities. And those properties are usually smaller properties generally. And in the past, I was mailing for bigger properties because I just who I am. I like bigger properties. But I think the smaller ones, like less than 1 acre properties that are in neighborhoods that have the utilities, probably meet all these standards and they're buildable, I think could be a good thing. So I think that's the next move we'll do. Talking to some more people in Kitsap, Mason County. These counties here, Mason's this green one. I didn't mail that one, but Kitsap next to it, and people seem to do a lot of business in both of them, the ones that do. They really like the vacant land that's not really vacant because of all these issues that are in the area about water and utilities and buildability, buildable, that the properties are buildable or not. They like to buy old mobile home properties, the mobile home from 70s, 80s, 90s that has been in the water and rain for years and years and years. It's probably a waterlogged, nasty piece of mobile home that people haven't taken care of generally in this part of the world. They don't last as long as like Arizona or something. Those things just fall apart. And so you buy a piece of property that somebody picked out to put their mobile home on in the 70s, 80s, 90s, that's got the utilities, it's got all the right zoning and everything, it's got access, and the mobile home is just dilapidated. And you just get rid of the mobile home and you put a new one on the property or build a home in the place of where the mobile home was. And so I'd like to look at potentially fishing out the mobile home properties of Kitsap County, because I mailed the smaller Kitsap County with this kind of all this information of what I've been learning off of this. But I didn't mail the ones that potentially have mobile homes on them. And so today I want to look at the data of Kitsap and see if we can figure out a way to target mobile home properties and mail them like they're vacant and the mobile home's not worth anything. And we just get a bunch of properties that you just bulldoze the mobile home, or sell it so the person that buys the property can bulldoze the mobile home. So that's one of the things I'd like to do today. Okay, so I think I'm getting through my notes on that, and let's look at some comments and see if I answer some questions and stuff, and then take it from there, dig into the data. So Yasser says, good morning, guys. Okay, go, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, audio, video is good for me. Good. Sounds good. Howdy, Luke. Good morning. Wood Booger. Is that the right name? Let's see if I cannot win another property. Yeah, there we go. JM, hello on this fine day. Good morning from Oregon. Good morning from Nigeria. Good morning, guys. Blake Jones. Good morning, Luke. Michael Conde. Good morning from Oregon. Great info you have. Thanks. Yeah. If you don't pay your taxes on time in Arkansas, they will arrest you. Yeah, Arkansas is serious about taxes, guys. You got to pay those taxes. If you own land in Arkansas, you got to pay the taxes. They'll take it away from you so fast and then just put it up for sale. It creates an opportunity to buy land off people who aren't paying their taxes. And so I think a lot of the properties we're buying have mobile homes on them, or even houses. Some of them have houses and or other buildings. So I'm swinging, and we'll see what we get out of the Arkansas deals. I've bought houses and mobile homes in the past. They're usually old junky things, but you never know. I mean, some of them, I think one of them I sold, maybe a couple of them I sold. I bought for $50 and sold for like $7,000. Just add some pictures and here's your mobile home. Go for it. People are so happy to get the thing. Wild, crazy spreads on them, right? Why not? Everybody loves it. Yeah, King Black. How is the Arkansas properties going? Is the new system up and running for updates? Yeah, it's up and running for updates. I've been doing a lot of work on it. Back office has been doing a lot of work on it. They've been adding pictures on a lot of the properties. And let me hit this button here. Yeah, so they've been adding pictures and more details and information. I've been processing them. We get the contracts in there, the paperwork on each deal is in there. And so as it's set up right now, as comments happen on each issue, comments like the next what's going on in the issue, you get an email. So you should be getting emails on your issues, your properties. Issues is the software term for, I'd change that into property. So each issue is a property. And yeah. So Wood Booger says you're lagging. So I'm wondering, I think my data feed or somewhere in here, it might be my cameras or something's lagging. Maybe I don't have my settings right. Okay, Ghost is fine for me. Okay, give me a call about the land. TK Dawes, give me a call about the land. I was asleep when you called. Okay, TK, add you. TK keeps asking for more land next to the land that he has, and I don't have land next to what he has, but I have some that's like 10 miles from him. And so I think he wants to buy that land. So I'll call him back. I'll call you back, TK, about those other ones. Guy says, I remember when I used to get through to Luke Smith on his mobile number and he answered my questions. Are those days gone for good? I need to speak with you, sir. No, I answer the phone a lot. It just, I can't answer it all the time. I got the kids in the background a lot of the times. And if I pick up the phone with the kids around, they just jump on me. They get all like jealous when I'm on the phone. So I stopped answering the phone as much. But I still answer it while they're in school. So try me like during school time, Pacific Coast school time, and that's when I'm answering the phones. So I just need good off-grid piece of land. Perfect. Called Mobile Uglies back there. Yeah, Mobile Uglies, exactly. Mobile Uglies. There's some Mobile Uglies. One of my best friends growing up, let's say Justin, I'm not going to put his last name out there, lived down the street from me. And he bought this campground. His family bought the campground. And they had a campground by Lake Michigan. And they ran the campground. I helped them run the campground. And the campground came with a mobile home. So they moved the whole family into the mobile home and with the idea of building a house later on. And they never got around to building a house later on. And the dad was pretty rough with the kids and stuff. But this last time I was back in Michigan, I went to the campground, and it turns out it's been turned into like a nature preserve. So a bunch of people from the neighborhood in the area put money together and bought the property. I think it went foreclosure to a bank or something. They bought the campground, and they joined it up with the local park, and they made some trails through there, like hiking trails through there. And they got all the old stuff removed, like all the the bathhouses and the dump stations and all the old fire pits and bits and pieces of where everyone would camp and the mobile home and the fencing, and everything was gone. And so I took a tour of that property. It was pretty surreal because I spent a lot of time there as a kid playing with my friends and helping out in the campground. And you could see like scars in the trees where things used to be. But I mean, it's been 21 years since I really used to play there with them. And so it's really grown back. Like the trees have grown back, and it's just, but that was the main mobile home that I remember as a kid. That thing was falling apart back then, so I'm glad it's gone now. It was really amazing how well they made it all disappear. Like they had gravel roads and stuff through the campground. They were just gone. They were just, nature took them over. Osiris Jackson, I'm new to your channel and I love it. Most definitely inspiring. Peace and love from East Harlem, New York City. There we go. That's a hard place to find some vacant land. Good morning from Paradise, California. Good morning, Virginia. Good morning, Arizona. Let's make it happen, Luke. Yeah. John Cade. Good morning from Sierra Vista. Thank you for what you do to help us be property owners. Sierra Vista. Nice. I got a story from Cochise County, Sierra Vista. So while we're going, I was on the phone with the county assessor on Thursday, Cochise County assessor last Thursday. And I was trying to figure out some legal descriptions on some deeds that a friend of mine had done, and it got messed up somewhere along the way. So I was trying to help him fix it. And I think we got it figured out. We got it fixed. But after we went through like 15 different deeds, going back to where the problem started, going through the details of each one of them. The Cochise County assessor has always been great to me. They've been really nice, been really helpful. The girl said, what about the law that starts tomorrow? I'm like, what law starts tomorrow? And they started a new ordinance in Cochise County that makes it a lot harder to split up properties. And so I've split, I don't know, well over 100 properties in Cochise County over the last couple of years. Always have the cheapest ones on the ask in Cochise County. And we're able to do that by buying bigger properties and cutting them up into smaller properties and selling the smaller properties as the cheapest ones in the market over and over and over again on different properties. And they created a new rule. So the new rule is you have to get a permit to split them, and you've got to do this paperwork, and there's just new hurdles to jump through, which are all fine. I mean, they got the right idea. They're trying to make the properties that happen there have more infrastructure and stuff for them, but it increases the cost, and it just makes it harder to split properties for someone like me. So I said, really? So it starts tomorrow. Okay. So we went through all the ones that are still outstanding, like properties that are sold to people on payments and that aren't recorded yet, and changing names around on them to, and just some of them people are really close to paying off. I just deeded it over to the people that are making payments to get the splits recorded before the law changes. And so I did that on Thursday. Got a whole pile of deeds. I had to race the notary, race back. I stopped answering the phones, just work on the paperwork. We slammed out a lot of paperwork on Thursday. I got it all uploaded to the recorder's office. Just like, oh, please get this recorded. I'm not sure if the law change means executed before the law change or recorded before the law changes or what. But it would be nice if everything is before the law changes. And got it all to the recorder. And watching my software that does it with a recorder, they weren't recorded Thursday afternoon by the time the recorder's office closed. I'm like, oh man, I was pretty bummed. This weekend, they showed up on the software with Thursday's dates on them. It's like, oh, sweet. I think the recorder threw me a bone. I think the recorder was really nice, or the software was just slow at uploading them or something. But we got a whole bunch of Cochise County, probably the last of the Cochise County through there. I think I might stop doing splits in Cochise County, or at least as many of them, and move on. So the last couple Cochise County properties on the website, those are probably the last cheap ones. The price probably goes up from here because you can't make cheap ones anymore, and we'll see what happens. So there's a story for Sierra Vista. If you already bought some Cochise County properties, I mean, probably make it a lot easier to resell them. Okay, go 123 says, Luke, you're not a fan of buying properties in, I thought it was New York City, North Carolina, I believe you need to have an attorney involved in the transaction. So that can make it, like more, just more involved. Oh, this picture behind me, guys. I was out looking at a property Saturday that we've got in San Diego County. And so we got these two like 4-something acre properties in San Diego County. And the access is like a 50-foot easement that goes out to the properties. And people keep asking questions. They're like, can you drive up to it? I'm like, no, you can't drive up to it. But if you put in a driveway, you can drive into it. And so once you're like to have a nice long driveway, have privacy of the property. So I went out there with my kids, and we bought some like bush clippers at Harbor Freight on the way out there, because I gave most all my tools away to my friend that's like building a house, and he has more room to store them and everything. And I didn't want to bug him to get some bush clippers, so I just bought some more on the way. And so we blazed a trail from the road to the property. And while we're doing this, my son found, where is it? This toad here in the background. In the desert, like nice desert toad. He was digging out of the ground because it just rained that morning. And that's what that picture is. Okay, so we'll keep going. So I'm not a fan of buying properties in North Carolina. No, I'm not, because I don't like to pay the attorneys. I haven't totally figured out the attorney close in North Carolina. I like to just do the deed and get it recorded, right? Not to pay the attorney. Um, Osiris Jackson, I want to get started buying my first land. I want to finance from owner. Is that possible? Yeah, we do a lot of buy or for sale by owner. And if you look at ruralvacantland.com, there's a bunch of properties on the website that are for sale by owner. Well, they're all for sale by owner. You can ask on any of them for financing, but a lot of them market financing right on there. Some of them like $60 a month to get started payments, or $100 a month, or 150 or 200 or 400 or 500, different size monthly payments. Adam Mixel is saying, morning Luke. Adam, I wanted to touch base with you. This is probably a good time. I was looking at bank statements this weekend and I noticed the two properties. I'm like 99% sure I'm talking to the right person. Two properties we got in Baxter County, like the extra ones on top of the ones you bought before. I just noticed the state cashed the checks on those properties. So that means they're accepting the deal. And I thought I had this turned off. Well, it's a spam caller. I know it's a spam caller because I don't even know the phone number to that one. And so those two properties that we did deeds on later, we got the state cashed the checks on them. So that means they accepted the offer, and you should be getting deeds shortly on those properties. Chris Williams, I missed the 500 mailer deal. Will you be doing that again? I'll do it again if I can get enough properties. So I'm processing these properties in Arkansas, and I ran out of enough properties to like fill all the orders. And so I've been calling around and trying to figure out regulations in different areas to see if I can take on some more properties that I didn't know about. And so I started finding some more, and maybe a bunch more, hopefully, and I can fill out all the money that people sent in. If I don't find enough good quality properties to fill out all the money that people sent in, I'm going to send some money back, and I'll make offers on other places. There's other places in the country we can buy properties like these Arkansas ones. I don't think we can do as much volume and as low a price, but they might be better quality properties. I'm not 100% sure. So I could look into that too. And because I just been so used to doing these Arkansas ones, I'm sure we could pick up some in other places. If you go look at a website like, let's pull up this other website. This is competition of mine, but I think they do a good job sometimes. Cheap Lands. They get a lot of traffic to their website. They get more traffic on their website than I do, actually. I was looking at the statistics. And so that's all these guys do, is they buy properties, back tax properties, and they put them up for sale. So here's a bunch of, 7.49 acres. Let's see what this one is. Let's say where it is. Harrisburg, Arkansas. Yeah, so they probably bought this property for like $50 off the county or off the state. And now they're selling it for $9,737. I mean, maybe there's some other fees in there. Maybe they didn't buy it at the $50 price. Maybe they bought it before. I'm just guessing. But they won't answer the phone. Like, you got to email them payment and stuff, and then they'll tell you more about the property. They're pretty rough on the customer service, but they do a lot of volume. And they just make deal after deal after deal after deal. They're like, not 100% sure where the property is. You go find it. It looks like they're doing maps on this one. Sometimes I think they're getting better over time. They're getting more information over time. But they sell land. I mean, they stand behind what they do. They sell you the land that they're presenting and everything. Here they're doing some owner financing. They just do a lot of volume of really cheap properties. Yeah. So I used to have a deal with them to sell their properties, and then it fell apart over time because, like, trying to move the money from one to the next, and I end up doing all the customer service and get stuck in the middle, like with refunds, refunding people when something goes wrong. and I end up owning the land, and so I end up collecting all the ones that go wrong, and yeah, doesn't work so well over time to resell their properties, from my opinion. But they've got a bunch of good properties in there, and yeah. So just give you an idea, like buying properties, back tax properties, and reselling them. They've got a full-time business, like I don't know, half dozen people working there, and they slam them out in big volume. I think if you add customer service to those kinds of properties, you could do a lot of business off of them. Okay. Virginia Price. Hey Luke, I won property in August 2018, but it didn't go through. Gillian said she'd get with you, but that was almost a year ago. Is there something with a mailer for me? Virginia Price. Let's see. See if we can figure it out, Virginia. Bear with me, guys. Virginia's got a good question here. I'm going to pull this up on a different screen. So I gave these properties away in the past, and somewhere along the way, the state stopped accepting my deals because I had some people complain that they didn't get the right property. They didn't want that property or whatever. They didn't like the property I gave them. I gave it to them for free, and they complained to the state. And let's see here. And so the state says, you can't do this. Get the people that are going to end up with a property to sign off on it ahead of time. Stop giving land away and not telling them what the land is. And you're just making a bunch of work for us, and stop it. Is basically what they said. So then I started redoing the paperwork to have people that won the land sign off on it. And so this is for, did you have a different username, Virginia Price? I think you did, right? Like I remember this, but I think you changed your username along the way. So I'm looking for Virginia. No, here it is, Virginia Price. Okay, so we sent the offer in, and the state got back and said it was denied for the date. So there's something wrong with the date of the property. Maybe the property wasn't old enough, or maybe I didn't date the paperwork when I signed it. And then we got a new property assigned to you. Let's see what this is. Your mailing address is in California, if I got the right person. And okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to get this redone. So I think we got a new one for you, but it's like so back in the order of things that I didn't send it out. So give me a sec here. Let me make this happen. Okay, so sorry about the delay. Thanks for getting back to me. Thanks for telling me. I found it in my database, and we got it fixed, and then I dropped the ball and never followed up on it. I did all the newer ones, and I didn't go back to the older one and redo the older one. So sorry about that. We're going to get that into my new data system, get some new paperwork created because the dates are old on it. Let me make sure I make that message clear. Okay, so we get the new paperwork created, and then I'll process that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to send you the paperwork with a check and an envelope that'll go to the state. You got to sign the thing that you want that property, and then put it back in the mail with my paperwork and a check that goes to the state. The state will take it, and they'll hum and they'll haw, and they'll do their rain dance or whatever they do, and then eventually they'll hopefully cash a check and accept the deal, and send that paperwork to the county. And there's a little bit of time in there. They have make sure nobody pays off their taxes for the last shot. And they send it to the county, and the county does their paperwork, and then you get a deed back. And so eventually you get that deed. And then if you want to keep the property, do whatever you want with the property. If you want to resell the property, let me know. I'll have you do some paperwork to sign the property over to me, either an option contract, probably an option contract and a deed, because I'd like to have that deed in hand. So when I sell the property to somebody, I can just get it recorded and make it happen and send it on to the next person instead of me chasing you for paperwork and hoping and waiting and wishing that you actually send a notarized deed in so I can sell it to someone. So we'll have you do that paperwork ahead of time. Then I'll charge you half of the profits of reselling the property to somebody that wants to actually use it. If you don't want to use it, you just turn it into cash that way. Okay, so thanks for coming back around. Next, Jay. Okay, loving. Looks like my internet isn't going to let me watch. Sorry. Okay, Luke, how is your right hand? Are you feeling much better now? I wish my speedy recovery. Yeah, I mean, my hand's good. It's still got a hole in my hand. I don't know if you can see the hole, but it's still kind of puffy, but it's working a heck of a lot better than it was. I got stung by a stingray at the beach, messing around with the kids. I was doing some surf fishing, showing them some different kinds of sharks, and caught a stingray. And it's like, oh yeah, here, take a look at the stingray. If I hold him up from the bottom, he won't get me. Yeah, right. That thing went ninja on me. It got me anyway. Chris Williams, ultimately I'd prefer Arizona, but your Arkansas deal sounded like a good start for land transactions. Yeah, I'd like Arizona too. A lot more people are moving to Arizona than are moving to Arkansas for a lot of reasons. The weather, because of the economy, because it's just happening. So Arizona was, I think, the top one. I think it was the most increase in immigration in 2018 out of any of the states. I think Idaho was second, and I think Washington was third. Washington's a lot bigger volume than both Arizona and Idaho put together, but Texas was on there fourth or fifth, or Florida. I think Florida was up there, and Nevada was up there. So those are the top states that people are moving to. Arizona was number one. Top cities that people are moving to, Phoenix is number one. Just the monumental increase in people going into Phoenix is crazy, but the whole state of Arizona is pretty crazy. So a lot of people moving to Arizona. It's a great place to own land, sell land to people moving in, or people moving up. They've been living there and now they want to get out of an apartment or whatever they're doing and go build something. It's a good place to be in the market. Arkansas is just darn dirt cheap. So you get all these old decaying infrastructure kinds of places that people are leaving. I mean, some of these towns in Arkansas I'm looking at, I mean, their population has been cut in half since 1990. So 20 years and the population gets cut in half. And just imagine how much infrastructure is left over. I mean, it's silly, but they have places that are dirt cheap for one, and there's like no regulations. The regulations are just do what you want to do kinds of places. I think that could be really neat for the right person, for the right price. I mean, it's just priced accordingly, right? They charge too much tax. Yeah, you're awesome. Okay, so these Arkansas properties, some of them come back with taxes. So the deal about buying properties in Arkansas is that the state is supposed to wipe out all the old taxes. When you buy it, it comes back with no tax. But there's other taxes besides just what the state wipes out. Sometimes it's an improvement district or a school or a fire station or all the above, or I think libraries, and those libraries, prisons, that kind of stuff gets wiped out. But hold on, my dog's trying to jump in and see what's going on. She's jealous. I don't know if she can see her or not. So you can get her on the screen. She doesn't get up that high. Okay. Down, girl. But they're supposed to wipe out the taxes, but it doesn't always come back that way. So some of these properties come back with crazy amounts of taxes. The dog's trying to say something. You want to say hello? Okay. Let's see. Get her up here. And then she backs away. So yeah, sometimes people get sticker shock on those properties. So I think it makes more sense if you buy like a dozen of those properties and one or two of them, you get the sticker shock weirdness taxed, and you're like, oh well, I'll let the state take them away when I don't pay those taxes in a couple years, and just let them roll. Other than that, the you know, you could still sell them to somebody and say you pay the taxes. I mean, you could do that if you disclose it and show them and stuff. I don't think they're worthless just if the taxes are crazy. It's just got to be priced accordingly. You got to understand that those taxes aren't like going to get attached to your bank account or your credit or anything like that. They're attached to the property. Okay. Smart Alec Productions. Luke, do you have any idea why a cold, desolate, unforgiving tundra... Hold on, buddy. Dog is really asking for information. Cold, desolate, unforgiving tundra like the state of Minnesota has such high land prices. Same thing with Michigan. Hey, what's up? What's up? I got to give the dog like something to pay attention to. Give me 1 sec. She's trying to really get my attention. Maybe she's... Give her a bone to chew on. Michigan's got really high prices too. I mean, those parts of the country are really sought after. They're really beautiful in the spring and summer, and in the fall, it's got its different traits. Winter, I mean, it's got different sports and things you can do in the winter. I mean, I love to leave there, but I love to go there for parts of the year too. It's amazing the prices that those places hold out over time. I don't know why. I don't know why they keep holding out those crazy prices. That's why people move from there to Arizona and Nevada and Florida, other places. Yeah, Edivishnu, trees and lakes. Yeah, exactly. Lots of bugs too. Arizona seems all right to me. I want out of Florida. Okay, so let's go back to the topic at hand. I want to look at... So I was talking about all the problems in Washington, but there's a lot of opportunity there too. The opportunity is being able to filter through that stuff and use the data to hit them. So I'm learning more about Kitsap, but I think it'll apply to Island and San Juan. Just get a bunch of these places here that got a lot of nice coastline and parks and nature. When I go to places and see things, the thing that means the most to me is the nature. Like that picture I was showing you before. Let me see if I can bring it back. My son's hand, I found this toad. Who would have thought? There's a toad in the desert, like a nice looking big fat juicy toad. And that's just a piece of nature. Who knows what kind of nature you find on these properties, but I think as you're closer to coast, you find more nature that appeals to me, and I'd like to try to hit those kinds of properties. So I went through a bunch of data on the Kitsap stuff that we had worked on in the past, and let me see if I can pull it up. I think I had it up here to show you guys. This might look kind of crazy or too small or whatever, but I'll try to explain it more as we're doing. I'll leave my face on there. It's not just a spreadsheet of junk. They have, what I was looking for is a way to ferret out properties that are mobile home properties with utilities and everything. And I didn't find that, but I found a couple hints. So here's the hints I found, and maybe we can use these hints for these other counties too that are around the area, and hopefully maybe they kind of rub off on each other. Doesn't mean they do, but there's one called Electric, and it seemed to be pretty well filled out. So there's a data set. Let me find that. I'll try to explain it while I'm looking. I could just search, I guess. That'd be too easy, right? Well, they got a bunch of zoning here too. I have no idea what all these zoning codes mean. I guess if we found some mobile homes and looked them up in here, we could see what their zoning is. The zoning seems to be quite well filled out. Maybe I'll take a note of that. So zoning RW, RP, UI, city, RR, GB, UM. Be fun to go look all these up. I'm not going to bore you on the show looking up each one of these zoning codes. C, there's a lot of them. 1A, Jesus. UH. Okay, so these go on and on. There's a bunch of them. So I think it's more of a reverse engineering process than looking up each one of them. So if I went to that county and found some mobile home properties and then pulled them up and got bought the data for them and then looked at the zoning, I could see what their zoning is. And then I could go search the database and see see if there's a bunch of them that have that zoning. So maybe we'll try that. We'll reverse engineer it instead of trying to look up each one. Okay, so the other things that we can look up in this data set, which is every one of these counties has different data sets. They've got the same columns. That's why some of these columns have data and some of them are empty. Is that some of the counties care about some of this data and some of them don't. And like attic area. So this is data I pulled in the past on the previous mailer. Nobody's got attic area filled out there because it's all vacant land, right? And but year built, I mean, there should be some of these still have something in them, but it's nothing year built. And I looked at the data set before I scrubbed it and after I scrubbed it. I think the one I'm looking at right now is scrubbed. So I think I scrubbed a lot of the buildings out of this one. But somewhere in here is electric. Ah, here we go. Electric. So there's a column called electric. And it's pretty well filled out. I mean, there's a couple of them down here, right over my shoulder, right here. I don't know what the dog is doing. That are they're not filled out, but most of them are filled out. They're either none or available. And so telling you about all the things I've been running into with due diligence on these properties in Washington, I want to make it as easy as darn well possible. I want ones that have electric. And so if the county records say there's electric available, let's target those properties instead of wasting our time on the ones that don't. Because the ones that don't probably are in the swamp and they're in the floodplain and they're in everything else that's wrong with them that I've been researching on all these properties I get back accepted deals on. Water type. So another one was water type. And water type was about, let's see if I can find it. Water type was about if it's public or not. Oh, here's road type. That was another one. So road type, I wrote that down. They've got paved, unpaved, or proposed are the different things. So theoretically, I could look up paved and unpaved. They've got them typed out. Like the whole word typed out, not just shorthand, and they're capitalizing the first letter, which is good to note for when you search this kind of data. Oh yeah, site waterfront. There we go. Look at this. Okay, so this data. So see that's still on the screen. Maybe I'll move over a little bit. They've got a column called site waterfront. This is my dream, finding waterfront properties. In Kitsap County, they talk about site influences on some of them. Like some of them, they say there's a creek. And site waterfront, they're doing LCK. So I'm thinking LCK means something to do with a creek. So each one of these LCKs is saying creek, creek, creek. And some of them are LAG, which I don't know what that means. Some of them are LIW, I don't know what that means. And LTR. LTR, don't know what that means. So let's... if I could pull out and if I could search the ones that have electricity available, they've got a water available as public, like public water available. So I don't have to worry about drilling wells and stuff. And they've got roads that are either paved or unpaved. I'd be like bling, 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 bling. And if I find out that they're waterfront, whatever these kinds of waterfront things are, I'd be like, ding, 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 right? And I don't know if that narrows me down to like 50 properties or 500 properties or 5,000 properties or whatever, but those sound like good things to sort by, in my opinion. So let's look up, that's kind of where I'm at in the research of this. Let's look up what these different site waterfront things mean. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to collapse down a bunch of this other data. I'm going to line up the waterfront with the like an APN number. I'm going to pull up some APNs. We'll do some samplings and see what they look like, and then see if we can understand the logic of these codes. So LIW. So I'm going to pull that up. I'm going to go, feel free to throw questions in there. I'll try to catch up on questions here in a sec. But I'm going to pull this up. I'm going to go to parcelfact.com. Got my whole head in the way. Let me move this over. Let's see. Also, while we're waiting for ParcelFact, I'll pull it up in Black Knight data. I'll pull a couple different data sets up there. Remember me. Come on, log me in. I'm in this software all the time. This one too. Okay, so we want to get these things set to Kitsap County. We'll see if we can figure out what kind of waterfront this is. This is the invisible kind of waterfront. So it found the property. I don't know. Might just be swamp. Dog park over here. So which one were we looking up? We're looking up LIW. So LIW, let's find some more LIWs. Let's see if we can get a better example. The other thing we'll probably learn here is that their data is not very accurate. So we go by all these things and we still get something that doesn't make any sense. It's a funny line here, like maybe there's a creek or something. That's obviously not waterfront though. Yeah, I can't see anything on here either. So let's pull up the next property. It almost looks like some swampy action going on right here, right? Stuff's not growing. LIW. If anyone's got an idea what LIW stands for. Is this my grandpa's sweater? Thanks, Tom Cruise. It was kind of cold this morning. I had the doors open and the wind's coming off the desert instead of off the ocean. Now it seems like it's turned around. Maybe it's coming off the ocean. I could probably take this thing off. I'll drop the sweater. While this property is loading. Discount Storage LLC. There's a creek running through here. LIW. Okay, let's try some more LIW and see what this LIW is. Dog is getting more and more vocal. I don't know what she's doing. This might be like lingering streams or swamps or something on LIW because it's obviously not waterfront. Um, let's try some more. She used to be such a quiet dog. Like its neighbor or something. So this is like looking for land. This is learning, this is querying data, it's studying the data, it's trying to understand the data. I'm just trying to understand the data, see if we could use different parts of this data to make decisions. This looks like, you know, maybe some stream in the woods or something. It's Lake View. L-I-W, land in Washington. Land in water. There we go. Iowa, land in water. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know, but it's not what I'm looking for. It's not like on the ocean front, on a big river or something you can launch a boat on or have a dock or, you know, cast a fishing pole. It's not happening. So let's look at some of these other ones. I'm going to cross out LIW. LIW doesn't seem to be what you want. LT. So what were the LTR? LTR. There's LTR. Let's try this one. I might have to take a 1 minute intermission and work on the dog. I mean, this is LTR. More swampland or something. I just want it to like pop up and have, let's try LCK. Like a lake or some obvious waterfront. That dog is not stopping. A lot of this land's owned by Kirk Company. It's in the same area as some of these other ones next to it. So LCK. So LCK is the ones that had the creek. So these are the ones that all said creek. So maybe these are different versions of creek. Let's try LAG. Maybe they just don't make sense or anything that I can use. But if they were something that, this is in the same area. There's different codes for properties, like all in the same area. They're in the same area because the APN is the numbers are close to each other. So maybe I'll just, let's go down the list, try some over here. So let's try some LCK. I don't see any water there. Do you guys see any water? Okay, so I think we might scratch out this site waterfront thing. We'll try some LAGs. There's LAG. It doesn't make any, I'm just going to scratch out this whole idea. Like the whole waterfront data doesn't make any sense to me. So I think we just focus on the road type, water type, electric. So those seem to be pretty obvious. These other coded things are just making me scratch my head. Okay, so let's find some mobile homes in Kitsap County and see if we can figure out what their APN is and then get that into the database. We'll pull out, we'll buy some data on them, see if there's something about the zoning. Let's see if we can reverse engineer the zoning to see what kind of zoning these mobile homes are in. And there might be a bunch of different kinds of zoning, or maybe there's one kind of zoning that the mobile homes are in. If we find one uniform, maybe find a half dozen properties scattered across the county that are obviously mobile homes and they're all the same zoning, we could search for that kind of zoning, and we could get the mobile home properties out of Kitsap County. I think that would be awesome. It's worth looking, right? That probably doesn't work, but we could try. Dog is going. Land is waterlogged. Nice. Local creek known. Yeah. RT, maybe rural tourist, logistics. Okay, so let's take a short little intermission. I'm going to pay attention to the dog, and I'll be right back. Okay, back. Neighbor's like messing with the bushes and stuff. See if I can distract her. So she was outside. She's saying she needs outside. They hear more than we do. Yeah, dog smells the raccoon near exactly. Okay, so let's find some mobile homes in Kitsap County. Just like looking at the map, see if we can find some place that's got obvious mobile homes, and then reverse engineer them. So we'll just zoom in, try to pull a couple off the map here if we can find some. And so I don't know how better to do it. I think that's a mobile home. It could be. There's too many trees. I don't know if this plan's going to work or not. This looks like a mobile home. But that's part of looking for land. Just keep trying things, right? Let me do this a different way. See if we can get some in different parts of the county. Bainbridge Island. We've got mobile homes on Bainbridge. Let's see. There's a lot more houses. Let's go back side of town. So if I could find, that might be a mobile home. If I could find the right zoning. Yeah, use, mobile, manufactured home. So we might be able to just do the use. So this data set is saying use is mobile home. Yeah, here's another one. Let's see if this land in between is, yeah, it's mobile home and yeah, looks like a mobile home too. We might be able to do that. We might be able to search by use. I'm not sure if the use is going to be It's probably going to be county. It might be the state use mobile home, or it might be the county use mobile home. There's mobile home. Yeah, so seeing this, I'm thinking we're going to find a use code that's not showing up in the data I already have because I didn't pull the mobile home use up. So I think that might be enough of those kinds of quotes. Let's go into this data set. We're going to go into RealQuest. I like pulling data out of RealQuest because, I don't know, just used to it. And the data fits my mailer templates and stuff, databases and everything. So we're going to see if we can do Kitsap County and change the use to mobile homes and see if what that does to the numbers of records. UTR, Urban Transition Residential. There we go. PDR, Planned Development Residential. LIC, Low Intensity Commercial. You guys might be right. You're probably dead on with all these different zoning codes. But it seems like they've got it. So Kitsap. We want use. Maybe state use. Maybe county. See if it comes up under county. County land use. Let's see if that works. Mobile home sales lot. Mobile home leased land, mobile home community, mobile home real property, miscellaneous manufactured, mobile home real property. I think mobile home sales lots, like where you're going to show off your mobile homes. I might be wrong, but let's start with mobile home real property. We could add a bunch of these to the list, but let's just see how many records we get. And mobile home real property, Kitsap County. Let's see what happens. So let's submit. We're getting a lot. 7,403. $79, $79.37. Guys, I think we're hitting them. I don't think that's all the mobile homes. I was talking to this one guy who likes to buy properties like this, that I could feed properties to him. And he's saying there's about 11,000 mobile homes in Kitsap County. So maybe there's like, some of them are on different kinds of land. Like some of them are on, I don't know, something else. What were the other uses? I think you might be able to put a mobile home on commercial or something, other residential but let's just hit the easy ones. I mean, 7,900 is already a lot of mobile homes. So mobile home real property, that's what we just did. But let's see what happens if we do, I don't care about mobile home community. I don't want to buy a mobile home community. Mobile home led leased land, I don't want that either. Miscellaneous manufactured, or I wonder if that's manufactured homes or manufacturing kinds of land. Let's see what happens. Mobile home sales lot. Let's see if there's any of those. Maybe a dozen or something in the county, or thousands, or what? Yeah, okay, 5 records. Yeah, so that's not what we're looking for. So I think these mobile home real property. So I think from there, I would like to, what do we do from there? I want to narrow it down because I want the mobile homes that are older. And so if we take a sample of like 10 data pieces or something and look at the data, we could study that data and we could figure out how to drill it down from there. So I think that's what I'd like to do. Let's see if there's any more, no more comments. Thanks guys for keeping up and watching. I'll give some land away towards the end of the show. We're already a little over an hour, but I mean, looking for land takes time. It's just part of it, right? Okay, so let's go back to the county. Where is it? County land use. Yeah, county land use and mobile home real property. Mobile home. Where is it? Mobile home real property. So get our mobile home real property. Submit. Let's just buy like the first 10 records or something. It cost me like 10 cents a record, so it'd be like $1 worth of data. Okay, so we got 10 pieces of data. Probably make more sense if I got them like spread out. Let's do that. Let's spread them out more. Some of these are on the same road and stuff. It's not spread out much, but whatever. I'll try that. Okay, so get our data. Hit some buttons. We're going to download this data. We're going to take a look at it. And we're going to see what kind of information we can get out of this data. We're going to look at it and see what they have. I mean, the other part, the thing we were going to play with, which we didn't do already, was the electric and the water type and the road type. So I want to put those in there and mess around with those and see where we get on those too. See if that takes our 7,937 down to like the most favorable properties in the county. But I think the other limiting factor on there would be if it said the year built, that would be awesome. So we could just go for the older ones. If it's not the year built, maybe the taxes line up. Like maybe the newer ones have higher taxes, or maybe, I don't know, what other things might show up. Excuse me. Dialing for trailers, exactly. Milk cap. Let's do it, Luke. Yeah, we're doing it, guys. John Cade, it's a learning process for you and us. It's all good. Exactly. We'll just keep learning, right? Just keep querying this data. Just keep asking the data questions. It's only like 10 records. I don't know why it takes so long to download. But yeah, we just keep asking questions and we learn, and we ask more questions and we learn, and we ask more questions and we learn. And I think the more we learn, the more accurate we can get and more deals we can do. So while that's loading, I mean, we could look at the market. Let's Let's mess around in Zillow a little bit. See if we can find mobile homes in Kitsap County. Like, how much does the ugliest, nasty looking mobile home go for? Let's do for sale. Let's do manufactured. Yeah. Let's do for sale Look at the difference on that. For sale, not very many. 19 results. For sale and sold in the last couple of years, 683 results. That's a market that's fun to go trade in. Like, there's hardly anything left for sale. And the history of what's been trading is just goes and goes and goes and goes and goes, right? So a lot of volume's been going through here. And look at that. There's nothing on Bainbridge Island. Let's see if because I was looking for mobiles on Bainbridge Island. Oh, there's a couple that have sold, but not very many. It's all mostly houses. Okay. So let's look at, I got it sorted by newest. They're going $300-something thousand for a mobile home. These are the fancy ones. $137,000. 140. Here's an $89,000. Here's an ugly. Ooh, here's an ugly. 16, $25,000. This is just a little tiny lot, right? Sold as is. Now we're talking. There's an ugly one. So this is a mobile home. This is a lot in a neighborhood. So this is like a little park. So I don't want these little parks. Like, I don't know. I just don't. These people can't even clean off the table to take a picture. There's a cat hoarding house. Probably smells like cat piss. You know, this classic looking kids' room. So 16 days on the market, 672 views, 15 saves. Like, people still interested in the ugly sucker. $25,000. Problem with this is I don't even think there's land. Very friendly, no age restriction. Please come visit and stay for the love of it. No sign and no key box. No sign and no key box. Go give yourself a tour if you dare to brave the cats. Year built, 1982. Oh. So hopefully they're getting this information off of the county databases and not from the realtor selling it. 1982, perfect. That's the year I was born. Nice old ugly mobile. But 25 grand. I don't even think you get the land. They don't say anything about the land. This is just a mobile in a park thing. I really don't think you get the land. Okay, let's save this. Let's do this by cheapest. Price low to high. Here's an uglier one. $19,000. There we go. It's a mobile home park. Lot rent, $540 per month. This is a liability. You're not buying an asset. You get the old ugly mobile home and you still got to pay $540 a month after you buy the thing. So you pay 19 grand for the house plus $540 a month to keep it going. Park requires 700 plus credit score. One small dog may be negotiable. Must make 2.5 times the lot rent amount or more. So this doesn't count because this is just this. You don't get the land. You just get the building. You just get the structure. Then you got to pay rent to keep it there. 41 grand. $1998. I don't know if you get the land or not here. I guess not. This is a mobile home park. $45,000. Martell Mobile Manor. 1980. Nice old ugly. Better taken care of old ugly. Roof's 3 years old. Okay, where's the neighborhood? You might get, this is a mobile home park. Yeah, it's a mobile home park. I don't think you get the land there either. So these cheap ones, you don't get the land. $670 a month, you don't get the land. 63,000. Another cat piss smelling house. 1989. Mobile home park. So somewhere here, I'm going to start finding a price where you actually get the land. It's probably over $100,000. This, you might get the land. That looks like a real lot, right? Strictly as is. See the neighborhood. You might get the land. That looks like its own lot. So if we go, see if we look up that property that's for sale. Yeah, I think you get the land. So you actually get the land on that one. So you get the land. It's, let's see how big it is. See, it's used mobile manufactured. So we got an idea how small these properties are. We can tailor our search. I don't know how small we have to go. I kind of don't want the little tiny mobile home lots. Maybe a little bit bigger mobile home lots with electric, water, and road will be golden. Yeah, so, well, what did I do here? It's a 1/4 acre. Okay. So it fits. You still got yard and stuff on a 1/4 acre. Let's see what else this says. Tax amount $1,368 a year. $1,300 a year taxes. They got the year built, 1984 in there. So I really think we're going to be able to get into the county data because this is pulling it from county data, not from a realtor, and get the year built. So let's go back to our search. Where did our search go? Right here. Okay. So they finally, oh, come on. Here it is. Taking forever to download stupid data. Come on. I got pretty fast internet. It's not my internet. It's taking forever. It's their servers. Let's see if we got some more comments. Lot rents have limits too on duration and price. John Cade, for $25K, you could buy land from Luke and have money to buy a decent trailer to put on your own land, do your own septic and water. Yeah, exactly. That's the idea. We're going to try to sell some of these properties. and let people put their own mobile homes on them. Yowawa 1, single wide postage stamp lot enough to park your Vespa scooter. Yeah, I mean, I've sold a bunch of little tiny lots. I don't know how they fit the mobile home on them, but the people do it. They make them happen. I don't want to like specialize in those. I don't want to ask for them. That's like if the guy calls back and says, yeah, I'll sell you the 1/4 acre property, but you got to buy these other 5. I got 2. Then I'll consider it more. Get a bunch of these other ones. So crossing my fingers, we get in here and we see that there's a bunch of... let's throw this up on the screen for a sec. That we can find the... lost my place. That we can find the year built works. Just looking at these data sets, I'm pretty darn sure we're going to have it. Okay, so here's, what is this? Oh no, I didn't just download like 7,000 records today. Ah, great. That's why it took so long to download. Pull this up. Oh, I did. I unchecked. Maybe it only unchecked that first page. Oh boy. We got all the mobile homes in Kitsap County. I guess that's not as much money as I was thinking. $784. Not, I don't know. Okay. I didn't mean to do that. I meant to narrow down the data before I bought it, save some money. But that's what happens. Well, now we got a taste of the whole data instead of a couple records. Should have read that while I was clicking on it, but I was talking instead. I was wondering why 10 records took so long to download. Okay, so let's see. Year built. County land use. There's the mobile home real property thing we were searching. It's going to get every single size. Oh. So let's look at lot acreage. Well, I guess there's some bigger acreage ones or some smaller acreage ones. Price. Subdivision. Year built right there. Look at that. Data sort, year built. 1902. Yeah, that's not right. So 1960s, 70s, a lot of them in the 70s, a lot of them in the 80s, 90s. I mean, where's the cutoff? 2000 seems to be, that's what I was thinking of a cutoff. That's like, how many is that? 6352. So that takes us down to 6,300 if we do that. Let's save this thing. Okay, so I'm running too much stuff on the computer at the same time. Chris Zeller says, Luke, pull up Apogee Street, Port Orchard. John Cade says, Luke, I am from Michigan to Ludington, love Lake Michigan. Yeah, what a ripoff. What a ripoff. Yeah, I got to pay $700 something for the data. So you're from Ludington, Michigan. That's cool. That's where the ferry goes across to Manitowoc, right? I've done that ferry. Let's see. So I saved this file different than the data. So I've got one download that's just the data. Okay, so there's all the older mobile homes I'm going to price as like just throwaway junkers. And then let's look at electric, water. These all should have water, right? I mean, there's a couple that say none for electric. But most of them are available or a space. Let's look at one that has let's check the quality of the data on the electric. So this is supposed to have no electric. Which I really doubt. I mean, with all this infrastructure around there, I'm sure there's electric going to that property. It's the same APN. There's two of everything in here. two, there's two, there's two, there's two, there's two, there's two of each of these. It says APN card first 01. That's different. One's got the mailing address and the next doesn't. I want my money back. They're going to give me 2 records of everything. A little bit different sets of the way the address is laid out, but come on. That's really weird. It's really, really weird. I don't know what to say. I've never seen data set like that. So I mean, it's giving me 2 and 2 and 2. Those are a pair. It's a pair. It's a pair. APN card first 01 01 01. When I scrub out for dupes, it's going to cut this thing in half. It's like, why do I get a whole bunch of duplicates? I usually like the data coming out of this company, but that's weird. It's just weird. RealQuest. Okay. I'm gonna have to call them and ask them about that. See if I can get a refund on half the data. I'll pay for double data. Okay, so electric doesn't seem to be dead accurate. I mean, if there's already a home on it, there's probably electric. Water type's probably going to work that way too, because we just got the use code. So the use code seems to be the mother lode of data. I mean, I don't think these other ones really matter. But if we look at water type, let's just spot check it. Maybe I should just search. Probably went right by it. Water type, public, none. So let's spot check a couple of these. So the same property. So I got it sorted by like old to new. So some of these oldest built ones have bad data on them. But look at that. Sucker's like in town. It's got a whole bunch of acreage going on this thing. 6.3 acres. Could you imagine buying that property in the middle of town? I mean, someone's going to want to go chop it up into a bunch of properties. I really doubt this person wants to sell it to me for the prices that I offer, but you never know. So where's my data? So we go down a bunch. I wonder if I still got dupes down here, way down. These ones don't seem to be duped. Maybe it's just some of the oldest records are the weird ones. Like right here, there's 3 of them, the same APN. They're not all duped, but there's some dupes in there. Which seems really weird. Okay, I might be burned out of doing the live call. So I assume the water type, the road type, and the electric are going to be good because there's already mobile homes on these things. So we just go for the older mobile homes. We make them offers like we're trying to buy their land, and we don't care about the mobile home on there. Maybe we get some properties that have a mobile home on them, and it's already got all the utilities, and it's a nice site. It's not like one of the sites that everyone passes over and doesn't build for years and years and years because of some lingering question. It's one of the ones that's just obvious and easy, and they just go for it. And the utilities are already there, and just some old dumpy mobile home you could blow down or get rid of, or cat piss special and take it to the dump and put a new one in there and go for it, a new one or a newer one, or modernize the thing. So that's the idea. That's the strategy. I'm gonna figure out what's going on with this data where I got a bunch of dupes in the data. I don't like paying for dupes. It seems weird and wrong. And yeah, just try to clean this up, get rid of the duplications, and mail the older ones cash offers. So that's the idea. That's where we're at. And I'm going to check in on the comments one last time here. Stay clear of asbestos insulated manufactured homes. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's asbestos ones out there. Good luck getting those into the dump, right? I don't know how you get rid of those. Why am I not seeing these comments? So these comments are not showing up on the comments below the video. They're showing up in the chat, like they're part of the chat feed of the live video. They should be going by on your screen if you're on the phone, or if you're on the computer. They might be on the screen too, depending on your settings, what kind of system you're using. Yeah, Ivan, you have to click on the live chat. Exactly. Coming through now. Thanks. Good. Thanks, Chris. Howdy. Okay. Let's give away some land. I'll give away another funky piece of property, another Arkansas special. Pulling it up. I think I can. Let me see if I can get this to work. Yeah, I think I can get it on the screen behind me. Let me just click a couple things. Okay, maybe I can get it to be bigger too. Maybe. There we go. I never pulled up Apogee Street, Port Orchard. Should I do that? Is that where you live? Let's see if Apogee Street comes up. Those mobiles are manufactured or what? I don't know. Jeez. Looks like a paper subdivision there. Some of it worked. Okay, so I don't know what I'm looking for in this Apogee Street, but I'm going to go back to the comments. Let me know if you want that 66 Chevelle for small tiny lot, Jeff. Nice. Great job, Luke. Thanks, guys. Thanks for listening. Thanks for chiming in. Thanks for sending in money, you guys that send in money for the mailers. Sorry it's been taking us so long to get them out there, but I think this will turn into some more of them. We're also doing some around lake frontage ones. I think those are going slower just because it's more of a data crunch to process them. And yeah, thanks for everyone that's doing the Arkansas deals. Those are flying off the shelves as fast as I can do paperwork. I'm getting those in there to the state, and you'll see those coming up over time. See them coming through the database, eventually coming up for sale, and see what kind of money we get out of them, and start sending you checks. And yeah, just thanks everyone for listening, for watching. And I got to think of a question here about something that we talked about. I mean, I started the show off. I don't know if everyone was logged in or not, but I started the show off talking about a live event that's coming up this weekend. And who's putting on that live event? Let's do the 7th person to answer that question. Who's putting on this live event that I'm going to go to this weekend? I'm excited about going to this thing, and I think some of you guys will be there, and do a little bit of speaking at the show, but learning from all the other land dealers that show up at this event. So 7th person to do that, I'll give you a piece of property, a piece of Arkansas special land. Let's see what I can find. Blake Jones says Land Academy. Yeah, so Blake, number 1. Let's see if I can keep track of these as they go by. Jeffrey Day, Andrew. So Blake, Jeff, Andrew. Oh, geez, it's going too fast. Let me get back up there. So Blake, Jeff, Andrew, Dave, Land Wrangler, number 7, Scott Poole. Okay, Scott, you're the winner today. Scott, thank you. Thanks for everything. Thanks for paying attention. Thanks everyone for chiming in. What I would like you to do, Scott, is send an email to my assistant, Gillian, Gilian, at ruralvacantland.com, and email her. And in this email, put your information in there. I want to know what name you want to own this land in. Like it's a title. Like it could be your name, or you and your spouse, or your kids, or whatever name you want to own this property in. It could be a trust or a company, or your IRA even, if you wanted to. And so we'll get that on the paperwork. I also need a mailing address for you of where do I send this thing. So I'm going to make a check payable to the state, to the Commissioner of State Lands in Arkansas. And this check is going to go with a piece of paper that says what property we're going to buy. And I'm going to staple them together and put an envelope in there, and I'm going to ship that thing to you to sign. And so you've got to sign this piece of paper that this is your name and your address and stuff that's on there. And with my check and the paperwork, you put it in the envelope that I send you, postage on there and everything, put it in the mail. I'll go to the state, and the state will get this. And if the deal's still good, they'll accept it. They'll cash a check. They'll send the paperwork to the county, or they'll send a deed to the county to get recorded. The county will record the deed going from the Commissioner of State Lands in Arkansas to you, and the county will mail that to you. And so you'll get this thing in the mail at the address that you're sending to Gillian. And I'd also like some contact information in there in case something goes wrong, something's weird about the deal, something comes up, so I can contact you and fix it, make it right, figure it out along the way. Just like earlier in this call, the one lady, Virginia, I think it was saying that something went wrong with her deal, and I was looking it up, and it's something about the dates on the paperwork, or the date of the property, or whatever. Something was wrong with the dates on it, and so we got to try again. So we're trying again. So if you get a letter, or you get a notification from the state or the county about something wrong with the deal, because your address will be on there and it's not mine, you're going to get the letter from them. you got to tell me about it so I can fix it and I can get it going from there. Maybe we'll go after a different property or change something to get that same property going. And yeah, so that's the idea. Yeah, so a lot of people saying congrats, nice, thanks. Land Academy, congrats. Yeah, so thank you everyone. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. I'm gonna do this again yeah, I'll be back. The show ends. Yeah, I'll be back for Monday morning next week. Monday morning next week, 9 a.m. every Monday morning. We'll give away some more land, or maybe I'd catch up with mailers. I don't think I'll catch up with mailers in that amount of time and give away some mailers, but eventually I catch up with mailers. I'll give away mailers again, and it'll probably just be some more land. So just land. I mean, it's free land, right? Where else do you get free land? Thanks for listening. Thanks, guys. See you again next time. Talk to you later. Bye.